You may hear biblical scholars and archaeologists talk about polemics, which a polemic is basically an attack, an aggressive attack on another god or religious faction. And here we see polemics against the Egyptian gods. All the plagues targeted a certain Egyptian god or multiple gods. And God was showing that all the Egyptian gods and goddesses were powerless against the one true God. You have the god Happy, the god of the Nile. Life was totally dependent on the Nile River for life, for the agriculture. But it's God that all life comes. Then you have the plague of the frogs, and that targeted the goddess Heket. And instead of the Nile producing life, it produced frogs, which was actually something that the Egyptians abhorred and hated. And then the third plague that we look at is the plague with insects, either lice, mosquitoes, or gnats. And this was directed against the god Gib, and that's the Egyptian god of the earth. And a quick note about a couple of these plagues. It's Egyptians figured out a way to use trickery and deceit, and they could imitate to some extent live things, as demonstrated with their gods turning into serpents. Maybe they could do the same with frogs. So it may not have left a grand impact or imprint on the rest of the Egyptians. But first, when all the frogs died, God did not remove them right away. He let them rot, and the Egyptians had to take care of them. What I think about is sin in our lives. Although God will remove our sin, there may still be effects that we feel and we have to deal with and take care of. But the reason God left it was so that the Egyptians would know this wasn't some enchantment. These were real frogs that were brought forth out of the Nile to plague them. And then when we get to whatever the insect was that was plaguing the Egyptians, the same idea. The magicians could not replicate that plague, that miracle. God stands alone as one with all power and might.